What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. Now, yesterday was the big reveal, which completely backfired as Democrats released some very selectively edited emails on top of the fact that they redacted information that was previously unredacted in a pathetic attempt to try and smear Donald Trump, which immediately backfired. Even CNN was roasting these idiots. That's how bad it is. If you're going on CNN in current year and you're getting blown out, it's not a good look. I mean, it's never a good look, but CNN is, I mean, can anyone even name somebody that works there? I guess Scott Jennings, usually he goes viral dunking on these idiots. But on top of that, inside of these emails was connections with Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and other things that they, I guess, thought that nobody was going to pay attention to. On top of that fact, the big bombshell that the Democrats had was that Jeffrey didn't like Donald Trump. What's the saying? Judge me by my enemies. So you're saying an alleged ped, trafficker, human garbage guy didn't like Trump? I see that as an absolute win. We're going to get into all this hilarity after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video's sponsor, Black Forest Supplements. The swamp and big pharma know this. A healthy, energized population is harder to control. That's why the FDA has made stem cell therapies nearly impossible to access. Not because they don't work, but because they work too well. Stem cells are your body's repair crews, fixing whatever needs healing, heart, liver, or skin. And you know who's been ahead of the curve for years? Joe Rogan. Just watch.
I've had a bunch of surgeries that I avoided where the doctor's like, you're going to need surgery. And I was like, sure. I wound up getting stem cells in my back. I had bulging discs.
What did you do?
Decompression, stem cells. Fixed it. I have zero
Really?
problems. Zero problems with my neck. Zero problems with my shoulder. I had a full-length rotator cuff tear in my shoulder. And they were like, you're going to need surgery. 100%. And I went back to the doctor 6 months later. It's like, this is easy. Like, that tear doesn't exist anymore.
The FDA has blocked these treatments, forcing people overseas at huge cost. One placenta stem cell injection can hit $50,000. Most of us can't afford that, but there is a way to boost your own stem cells with high flavanol cocoa. Harvard scientist Dr. William Lee actually backed this up. Check it out.
Wait a minute, this is a big one. Chocolate regenerates stem cells?
All chocolate has some cacao in it, except for white chocolate. Cacao actually comes from a plant. Studies have been done to show that the flavanols in cocoa stimulate stem cells to come out of your bone marrow like bees in a beehive in your bloodstream, and they go out and they find wherever it needs to be repaired. If it's in your heart, they'll fix it. If it's in your liver, they'll fix it. If it's in your skin, they'll fix it. And so we can eat foods like high flavanol cocoa in order to be able to actually get the stem cells to work a little bit better.
That's right, dark chocolate. Flavanols, the good stuff in cocoa, are usually lost in processing. Black Forest Supplements fixes that with high flavanol cocoa powder, just 20 calories, no sugar, perfect for coffee or shakes. It's stem cell fuel, boosting circulation by over 100% to wake up lazy stem cells. Black Forest Supplements is offering an amazing buy one, get one free promo for 48 hours only when you click my link below. Now let's start with it seems like the left has been trying to trot out like a new face of their movement every couple of months, and when they fall flat on their face, they move on to another one. Sure, they had AOC, that flopped. Then they tried to trot out that Ilhan Omar, and everyone hated her. They had Fetterman. I think Fetterman's actually their best chance, but they're dumb, and I'm not going to help them when they're making mistakes. So they continually trot out this ratchet loser who's probably about to lose her elected position anyway, Jasmine Crockett, who got absolutely destroyed by CNN live on air.
The fact that Trump does not want these files to be out, to me, says that he has more to hide.
Look, I want to tell you this first and foremost. I think Trump is wrong about his continued boneheaded decision to not release the files, to continue to disparage his base or parts of his base that want the files out. But I will also tell you, there's nothing in there that implicates Trump. How do I know this? Because they didn't release it in the 2015-2016 election when they desperately didn't want him to win. Because when the Democrats were in power for 4 years with Joe Biden, they didn't release it. because they didn't release it when they tried literally everything else when trying to stop him from winning the 2024 election. If there was actually any kind of smoking gun in these files that would sink Donald Trump, it would have not only been out, but it would have been out a decade ago. This whole idea that, he's protecting himself in these files is nonsense. But the fact that he doesn't release them continues to give the left this ammunition to insinuate it. So that's why I'm saying, he has to release it. But I also have completely moved on from ever believing that there was ever going to be any real information in these files, because there's not going to be. Whatever was actually helpful was destroyed long ago. What happened to all the hard drives and the security cam footage and the blackmail footage that we all know exists? We're never going to get it. So I've moved on to more tangible things like standing up against H-1Bs and demanding we up our numbers on deportations. But I digress.
Than him actually being able to exonerate himself.
And then the other email talking about that we used initially, I'm just trying to find that email so I can be really precise here. But
you mean the email that the Democrats redacted Virginia Giuffre's name, the one person that we know of who has spoken out very publicly about this and who has also specifically said Donald Trump never did anything wrong and that he was nothing but nice to her. So they redacted her name because they knew it would ruin their narrative.
But it talks about how Epstein is emailing Maxwell saying that Trump was with a victim at his house for several hours. This is an email from April 2nd, 2011.
Yeah.
Republicans are saying that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She's been very outspoken victim of Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing.
Oops.
What do you make of that? And can you confirm that?
Oops.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is. So
yeah, they know who it was. That's why they redacted it, because this email was out before in a non-redacted form.
I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word on who it is that's redacted. And I don't know why they would necessarily redact.
She's kind of packing on the pounds, by the way.
Someone's name who is deceased at this point.
The Democrats did that, though. The Democrats were
No. I understand,
Oops.
but I'm just saying, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting victims.
No,
and
it isn't.
Obviously, she wrote a book. She told her truth. Whether or not she told everything, who knows?
So now you're accusing her of lying. You're accusing her of protecting Donald Trump. This is how pathetic and desperate they are.
Another person that we can't talk to because we have yet another suicide around this. So I think that that's actually one of the things that we should talk about, is that the president has tried to call this all a hoax.
Well, I mean, I would argue that you purposely redacting information to try and make it seem like it wasn't Virginia Giuffre. I don't know. I'm just going to call her Giuffre because I'm from Wisconsin and that's how I pronounce it. The whole thing, the Democrats were the one that redacted it. Now they're like, well, we're trying to protect victims. No, you were trying to create some sort of mystery around an email that everybody already knew. But what they forgot to redact was some interesting Hillary Clinton body count information. Jeffrey claimed that Hillary Clinton was banging former attorney and White House counsel Vince Foster, who also conveniently ended his own life back in 1993. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No wonder she wasn't mad about Lewinsky. And you have all sorts of other, you see, Luke, Jeffrey claims that Hillary was hooking up with former attorney Vince Foster. That's the guys that the Clintons offed in more way than one. So the implication here, obviously, is that he lost his life protecting this affair. Hey, Bill Clinton, while you were using Monica Lewinsky as a humidor, Hillary was getting freaky with Vince Foster. That's what the files actually show. I mean, the whole thing is bonkers. And the other thing that I find most hilarious about this is that, you say they've, emails with ex-Obama lawyer claim he stopped talking to Bill Clinton for a mysterious reason. Gee, I wonder what that mysterious reason was. I don't know. Because you see here, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked yet is Trump. Yeah, well, that doesn't mean anything. Again, they purposely redacted. This guy seemed like he was advising Jeffrey on how to blackmail Trump. And the whole stuff, is hilarious to me. The fact that I was looking up some of these emails or some of the left's reaction to this, and they're like, ooh, Jeffrey said he was a bad man. Like, Jeffrey was a bad man. Like, the fact that he didn't like Trump is a good thing. You get what I'm saying? And that's like, they're so desperate. They're so desperate. And then you look at this here, we have Tim Burchett saying, the Democrats don't actually want the files released. They just want to keep them unreleased so they can continue to implicate Trump because there's actually nothing in the files that implicate him.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC, unanimous consent of tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, cut out all this nonsense, and and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now here they've had it for 4 years, and they obviously if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it. And now
obviously,
they're all, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion to bring it straight to the dadgum floor, and they blocked it.
I wonder why that is. Because again, once it's actually out, people will see there's nothing in there. What they want are their losers like Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel to continue to be able to imply that there's something there. But there's nothing there. It's been a total fiasco. Jeffrey was actively scheming behind Trump's back. Well, I don't think they were friends anyway. He was trying to get information to Russia. He was trying to blackmail Trump, but he had nothing on him. He had nothing on him. Here's CBC article. Trump is named 1,500 times in this document dump. Here's why that number doesn't even matter. The vast bulk of documents appear to reveal absolutely nothing new connecting Jeffrey to the U.S. president. Like there's nothing out there. Again, Republicans on the U.S. Committee on the Oversight Committee Reform released what they described as 20,000 pages of documents received from the estate, and there was nothing in it. Now, I don't think Trump is doing himself any favors by continuing to call it a hoax. Just if it is a hoax, okay, if Trump really knows what's in these files and there's nothing in there, just release them and move on, because it's the last chip the Dems really have. They really don't want people talking about how they shut down the government for the past 3 months. That's why the day that Trump reopened the government is the day that they release these pathetically edited emails. Like, there's nothing in these files that implicate him in any way, shape, or form. They know that, and that's why, precisely why, he has to just release them. If there's nothing in it, then there's nothing in it. Right? There's just no point. Of course, Trump knew about the girls, what Colbert said. Yeah, he did. And that's why he banned Jeffrey from Mar-a-Lago. Or it was the Trump hotels. I don't know if it was the Mar-a-Lago or Trump hotels. But like, he called the guy, he knew the guy was a creep. That's why he didn't associate with him. At the time he did that, he wasn't the president and he was in no position to do anything. He was instrumental in Jeffrey finally getting arrested, from what I understand. But that wouldn't stop the late night continuing to push this, because what they don't want to talk about is the government shutdown that went on for nearly 3 months and did absolutely nothing for them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.